Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. It's been a while since we checked in on the Demon Avenger. This class was always suffering from poor mobbing, and his bossing wasn't something that made him very exciting to play either, at least for most Maplers. However, over the last few updates, this class has gotten some nice and well-deserved improvements to his 5th job skills, improving his mobbing and bossing by so much that in MapleStory Korea, this class was regarded as one of the strongest and most OP classes. So let's find out today how true this actually is and how good the Demon Avenger is right now. But before we dive into all of that, we're dropping into PUBG Mobile, who was kind enough to sponsor today's video. PUBG Mobile is one of the most popular free-to-play Battle Royale games in the entire world, and they released a whole bunch of new content that you can still enjoy until the 12th of September, like this fan-favorite event, Ancient Secret Arise. With this new event, players can find various hidden runes in ranked mode maps. These runes hold various secrets. You can solve the puzzles in them to be rewarded with some great loot, like this special item that recovers all HP and energy, but be aware though, these runes are guarded by not your average enemies. PUBG Mobile players can also find hidden Scorpio crates who are sticking to walls. Defeat the Scorpions to gain additional loot worth dying for. There also is a special zone called the Sandstorm Zone where you can find plenty of supplies and sometimes even special scarab charms that revive you, making you still able to get that chicken dinner. Like, seriously though, you can get some nice stuff in there. This even made me win the game, and if my bronze hands can do it, then anyone can win. And did you know that PUBG Mobile also has different collaborations, like with The Boys and Dragon Ball Superhero? These are just some of the new things that are dropping in PUBG Mobile, so if you're interested in checking out the new events, seasons and plentiful rewards, then check out PUBG Mobile through the link in the top comment and video description. Again, thank you so much PUBG for sponsoring, and now back to the video. So for those of you wondering, why should I even care about Demon Avenger? Well, for starters, Demon Avenger's link skill that goes up to level 3 in MapleStory Global increases damage by 15% for any linked character, and its Legion effect increases boss damage, so it's a pretty nice link skill mule to have regardless. Demon Avengers have a unique HP mechanic. They don't have any stats. Instead, they just put their stat points in HP. Their skills will also cost HP instead of MP and increase in cost over time, but this effect can be then reset with their Overload release skill, which also heals them and increases their final damage for a short while. This class has a ton of recovery skills and recovery passives to make him heal more HP faster. There usually isn't any trouble getting your health back up when you're grinding. Getting to level 200 to unlock the 5th job skills can be a bit of a grind though. This class has pretty high base damage but needs to mob with Lunar Slash, which is a 3rd job skill, which is just not as explosive as most other classes. Thankfully though, Demon Avenger does have another skill called Nether Shield that improves their mobbing a bit. You get this skill in 4th job. These shields chase enemies and deal decent damage, but you have to resummon them every 6 seconds. 5th job though is where most improvements have taken place recently. Demon Avengers use the skill Demonic Frenzy when they're both bossing and mobbing. This skill will lower your HP over time to only 30%, so you only have 30% of your HP available, but your final damage will be increased depending on how much your HP goes down, and this big aura will appear around you that deals damage to anything it touches. It's kinda like Buccaneer's Lord of the Deep, except that this skill will kinda like cost your own life. Demon Avengers don't have crazy mobility like the Buccaneer, no super jumps or no teleports like the Demon Slayer, but still it's a very powerful skill to have active at any time, especially when you're grinding and definitely when you're bossing. You're limited in your healing though, and you cannot recover past that 30% point, but with your giga amount of HP, that should not be any issue for most Demon Avengers. This skill was changed to what it is right now with the Destiny update, with the whole effect around it. Another 5th job skill that was improved is Demonic Blast. This skill used to be a skill that had to be charged, but now it just pops instantly, which is a lot more convenient, no need to hold that down anymore. So yesterday's Rocking Revamp update further improved 2 of the Demon Avengers 5th job skills. The Dimensional Sword skill and Revenant got some big buffs. Dimensional Sword, when active, summons an additional attack every 3 seconds for 40 seconds. This skill can also be used again, just press it when it's active. For some good amount of burst, you'll pop all your attacks at once. With the recent update, the amount of hits this skill does when you activate it just once was increased from 8 hits to 14 hits, and the damage was increased as well. And when you activate the skill again, so all your attacks start popping at the same time, the hits of that attack was increased from 6 to 8, and the damage of that was increased from 600% to 900% at max level. So more lines and more damage, which is a huge buff for this skill. Demon Avenger, their Revenant skill also pops out attacks when active, but there is a bit more to it. When this skill is active, your HP cannot drop below 1, so it's also sort of an invincibility skill, but it's also a bit of a double-edged sword, because all damage taken is saved up and then returned once the skill ends. But thankfully, Demon Avengers have some mitigation for this as well. Usually Demon Avengers use this skill in combination with their hyper skill Forbidden Contract, which lowers all HP consumption from skills to 0. With the recent update, the thorns that pop out when the skill is active had their amounts of attacks increased from 9 to 12, and the damage at max level was increased from 600% to 900% as well. These changes make this class deal a lot more damage with both these skills. I was fighting Easy Empress before the update, and after 5 minutes I only whittled her down enough to about 30% of her HP. You know, now we're both 30% HP. I did kind of forget to use the Nether Slice skill to apply an IED debuff though, so yeah, that one's on me. But after the Rocking Revamp update, this class will melt through this boss. The amount of lines on both skills, plus the massive increase in damage, helps a lot when taking down these bosses. I know, before I see you typing, Coppersan, what the heck is this damage skin? I cannot see anything. My apologies, I accidentally overwrit my old damage skin with this one, and I can't get it back, so we have to go with this one now. Just make sure that when you're bossing and you're using Revenant, that you use Forbidden Contract when needed, if you want to fully heal yourself, and also make sure to turn off Demonic Frenzy when you do that, so you can get all of your health back up, and then just reactivate Demonic Frenzy again. So big improvements when it comes to bossing, like I can clear this boss a lot faster now. Mobbing is also a lot easier as well, even though higher level Demon Avengers might not notice a lot of difference if they were already one-shotting anyway, but even when grinding, the increased damage and lines on both Dimensional Sword and Revenant are a great help if you cannot one-shot. I usually first use Dimensional Sword, don't activate it twice, just let it run its full duration, and then I use Revenant to help with mobbing. Once Revenant ends, I will have about 50 seconds of cooldown left on Dimensional Sword before I can use it again. And of course we're using Demonic Frenzy all the time as well. And if I don't forget, I use Demonic Blast and Nether Shields as much as possible. I'm so bad with keeping track of my cooldowns, man. So how good is Demon Avenger now? I think the 5th job skills are a lot more potent now after the recent updates, making Demon Avenger bossing a lot more enjoyable, and I can actually recommend making this class as one of your bossing mules. At least get it to level 210 for the Link skill anyway, and then it's just like, what, a few more levels, a bit more funding, and boom, you got yourself your bossing mule. Their base boss damage and critical rate is not the highest, so I would not recommend making this like your first bossing mule right from the get-go without first getting some Link skills and Legion mules first. Their IED does look pretty low in the stat window, but do keep in mind that your main bossing attack, Execution, has a passive 30% IED buff, and applying Nether Slice is not a 30% IED buff, so that's pretty decent already. This class is pretty safe to boss with thanks to their Revenant skill, making them just too angry to die, and with the 4th job skill Blood Prison, they have their own bind as well, so bossing is pretty solid right now. Their mobbing still isn't the greatest and relies a lot on spamming your shields and Demonic Blast every few seconds. For people like me who just forget to use their skills half the time, this is not a great class to play, but if you can develop some muscle memory for it, this class will grind just fine. It's not amazing, but it's definitely fine. So Demon Avenger is actually a pretty solid class right now, I gotta say. What do you think about the Demon Avenger yourself? Let me know in the comments. And that was all for today. As always, many thanks to our members for making these videos possible. Thanks to Niels to Coninck, Raar, maar waar, Sebastian, Hanoy, Ryalias, Terry Kim, Vareese, Mora, Wiley, Historycanon, BackSpaceOTI, Saffronyx, Anwar, NHI, Ziggy Flidiot, Knifesu, Chen125, Cloudfix, Gusus Rodriguez, Froggy, Vira, Trevor, Michael Menchaka, Ratius, Justin Vale, Silvio Nato, Stevie Zhang, Afterlord_MS, ceemak, Striker Elk, Tidal and Pun, Victor Sundstrom, Radical Jaws, Riser RU, Gummy Bullet, Lovebird, 32655, Mathias Simonsson, Mr. Narc, Galando Balavia, PC Game Life, Dante Victory, The Passenger, Martin Panzik, I'm Disappointed, Lucky Beats, Gabelek, Pedro Benedetti, Conrad Cristales, Ace Light, Ben Wolf, Max Bernhardt, Doc on a Taco Box, Muka 1017, BNB King, Scotty Flies Fast, Priscilla, Brennan Cam, Shake1, Vake Botnet, Fecco, Gianfranco Calderon Canavero, Necrodart, Matthew Def, Only, Rashid Almarudi, and Emperor Chat. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe and happy mapling!